Thanks for listening to Locked On Wildcats. We are going to talk a ton today about, all kinds of stuff, but we're going to talk about the internal improvements needed for this Arizona basketball team. Let's get started here on Locked On Wildcats.
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, we got a lot to get to this show. First, we are going to talk, we're going to talk a ton of Arizona basketball here because, quite frankly, there is a lot to get to. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is a little bit of recruiting. Because when it comes down to recruiting, a lot of people, they get caught up in the stars. They get caught up in, who's doing what and everything. And you got to remember one thing, and I want to talk about where we're at first. The first thing about it that really you have to remember is that Sean Miller was a different type of recruiter. And you can insert joke anywhere you want. But the one thing about him, though, was that he generally brought in 4- and 5-star kids that looked really, really good on paper. And again, I'm not really breaking any news there. But so Tommy Lloyd has taken over, and there has been some consternation, I guess, about where this team really is with, in the recruiting world. And I am here to tell you not to worry about this. Tommy Lloyd is going about things in a much different way than Sean Miller is. Now, again, that's not a diss towards Sean Miller or anything like that. But if you're Arizona, though, you do need to understand that he is far more interested in fit than he is basically getting. He is far more interested in fit than he is with stars. And he said that from day one, to his credit. He has said, you know what, I'm not going to recruit guys that are just going to, that are going to come in there that are looking for theirs. That's not what I'm looking to get at here. I'm going to try to find guys who can come in here and who can really fit a role. And he is, and so far he's done that. Now, you got to remember, too, that, again, he brought in, look at the guys that he's brought in, especially from the transfer portal. The one thing about it that I think is very fascinating is there's one thing that was very fascinating about him is that he doesn't necessarily, like when you look at a guy like a Pelle Larsson came in here. Not a lot of people knew who Pelle Larsson was or what Pelle Larsson, what he's going to be able to do. I thought Pelle Larsson wasn't good. My bad, Pella has become a kind of a hashtag slogan to make fun of me, as it should be in Tucson, because I was wrong on Pella Larsson. Now, but he fits right in there. He doesn't need a ton of shots. He fits right into what Tommy Lloyd wants to do. And on top of that, the best thing about him is that he knows how to play basketball. He's smart. He's shrewd. He knows what he's doing out there. So again, check that out. Pelle Larsson, perfect example. Then let's look at some of these other guys out there. Your Courtney Rameys of the world. Keep in mind, Courtney Ramey was a player that, he was valued in the transfer portal, no doubt about it. But I don't know that anybody was looking at Courtney Ramey and saying, that's a guy that's going to be a world beater. Ramey is perfect for what Arizona wants to do. There's no doubt about it. Arizona has a real keeper in Courtney Ramey. And because, again, he doesn't do things that he can't do. He's a winning basketball player. He plays defense. He doesn't need 40 shots per game. He doesn't need any of that. And it fits in because you've already got other guys on this team that need to eat. Your Azuolas Tubelis's, your Kerr Kriisas, your guys like that. And he fits right into everything that they want to do right there. So again, perfect example. Another guy that's a perfect example as well is Cedric Henderson Jr. Now, you might say to yourself, isn't it a little too early? No, it's not too early. I'm going to tell you right now that Cedric Henderson Jr. is perfect for what Tommy Lloyd, aka the Tommy Gun, wants to do. Because he plays, he's tough, He's about 6'5", 6'6". He can defend a multitude of positions. And again, another guy that doesn't need a ton of shots to thrive. Do you, I think we're probably sensing a little bit of a common theme here, for lack of a better term. But he doesn't need that. He needs he can play defense. He can get garbage points. Again, I say garbage points in the kindest way possible. And on top of that, he is a guy that is going to make the open three, as we've seen. And there's a lot that you can do with guys like that. That's where it's fun to be able to see where exactly this will all come out. Now, real quick, want to tell you about, I'm having a few technical issues here. Want to tell you about SimpliSafe. All right, so SimpliSafe is the, if you've thought about securing your home with home security, but you've been putting it off, you'll want to listen up. Right now, Locked On Wildcats listeners can order the #1 rated SimpliSafe home security system for 50% off. This is their biggest offer of the year, and if you don't want to miss it, here's why I love it. Because again, it keeps you safe. There's nothing better than going to bed knowing that you've got a peace of mind that you're going to be kept safe. SimpliSafe is there for you to be able to do that, and that's what's unique about SimpliSafe. Now, I know multiple people that have it, and each time they've said that, you know what, it's been there for them when they've needed it. And so, again, check it out. And again, SimpliSafe was named Best Home Security System of 2022 by U.S. News and World Report for a third year in a row. Again, a third year in a row. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats. I am your host, Mike Luke. Now, we're going to talk about now meshing all these pieces. So with Tommy Lloyd, you've got a guy right now who certainly embraces the, guys who are better fits. Now, how does this all fit? Think about it this way. You've already got a Julius Tabellis. You've already got Kirk Risa. They're on their second and third they're on their second coaches during their time at the U of A. And they're, especially Tabellis, he's a big time player. I'm not breaking any news there. He's a big time player. Do you really want to bring in somebody that is not going to understand where exactly they kind of fall in the pecking order of things or disrupt that chemistry? No, I don't think so. And I don't know that, and Tommy Lloyd obviously agrees with that one as well. So watching the way that this roster goes, you got to remember how would they fit with the returning players? That is a big part, I think, of Tommy Lloyd's strategy. And quite frankly, it should be a big part of Tommy Lloyd's strategy because, he doesn't want to have dip years. And the best thing about not having a dip year is having other guys out there who can certainly play that role. Now, I'm going to be curious to see exactly what happens here with this squad going forward. Does he start recruiting higher guys? I don't know. But between the internal improvements we saw last year from guys like Ben Matherin, Dalen Terry, Christian Coloco, guys like that, it was impressive. And I think you're going to continue to see more of that as I get my sheet real quick here. Okay, sorry about that. Now, again, having a few technical issues here. Apologize for that one. But all right, so here's kind of where we're at, though. He's going to recruit the guys that he sees are best fit for his program. All right, let's take a quick break. But first, I want to tell you about Built Bar. All right, you see big, strong people at the gym. You're thinking to yourself, how can I get like that? Look no further. Built Bar. Built Bar is where it's at. Check it out. Again, they've got all kinds of great flavors out there. Everybody loves Built Bar. And again, there's a reason that it's taking off. You look at the most physically dominating, powerful teams out there, and you think to yourself, man, they probably got some Built Bar in there somewhere. And again, that's why Built Bar is where it's at. That's why it's established the reputation that it has as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now in summation here, again, I do apologize. I'm having a few technical problems on this end, but Tommy Lloyd, style of fit, that's what you need to look at. You need to look at a player and say, okay, how could they fit in? Where do they fit in? And because that's what Tommy Lloyd is looking right there, affectionately called the Tommy gun as on this show. But again, I do apologize. This is a little bit of a shorter pod, but I'm encountering I don't know exactly what's going on. But I will be back with you tomorrow. As always, game in and game out. We're here. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats.